Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
My anus is bleeding!
He can't sit down.
They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Got a flame coming out of his butthole.
Beta male.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you don't do it.
Oops.
We're under attack. It is an alien force, not of this world. It's not human intelligence.
Bullshit.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Bullshit.
It's not a salami sandwich.
Disappointed!
Repeat the line.
Disappointed!
How you like that, boy?
No.
Give me a break.
Stop it.
Fired.
Fired! Fired! Bitch, move it along.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
This erection is about the people.
Oh yeah.
Nation. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, the day before the holiday break. Sure, we're all excited here. Maybe not all of us. And look, Thanksgiving holiday, generally a good time. Not because of the whole, the pilgrims came up and they had this. So no. It's for generally spending time with people that you care about and having good food. Some people prefer to watch the football. I do not partake in such things, but then again, if you do, great, good for you. It'll be a good couple of days for you. So that said, that's why I enjoy the holiday, and hopefully we'll enjoy the holiday too. But before we get to that, we got news. We have news. Interesting stuff. Especially more interesting stuff about the Club Q shooter, and specifically the right-wing defense. Oh, interesting. So we've got that. We also have Mike Pillow making a return. Yes, I know. Hilarious. Herschel Walker in his Gaffe. We're just going to have fun with that. Then we've got Weirdo Peeping Toms. Funny enough, close to Thanksgiving and turkeys, Toms, whatever. Okay, anyway, weird connection. Just thought about that. We also have Trump, of course, raging, bringing in the family of the special prosecutor. Oh boy. And then, of course, we also have creepy police officers getting their jobs back after creeping. So we just have a bunch of different disastrous news stories today. Some fun, some lighthearted, and of course, other things that are very, very serious. So that's what we do here in the show. Sometimes serious, sometimes not so serious. But anyway. All right. We'll start out with, like I said, the serious story here. And that is the right-wing reaction here to some personal details, personal information about Anderson Lee Aldrich, the alleged Club Q shooter. So, with that said, dive in. Oh, before we do, please like and share the stream. Has the right wing made a little bit of progress when it comes to pronouns? Well, that's an interesting question. No. But they are seemingly using pronouns now in the case of Anderson Lee Aldrich, who the past weekend in Colorado Springs grabbed a gun and went to one of the 2 LGBT clubs in the area and murdered 5 people, wounding 19 before being stopped by an incredibly heroic Army veteran with the help of an incredibly brave trans woman who stomped him with heels. Great. Now, look, this is, of course, another horrific case of a mass shooting in America. We've had at least 600 that we know of. And it's, of course, another case of one being driven by hate. Look, the bar itself, as I've showed you pictures of, had been the host of drag queen events. Now, drag queens have been demonized, especially by the likes of Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool, Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, Chaya Raichik, also known as the person behind Libs of TikTok, and countless other right-wing figures. Now, they tried to use this during the midterm elections. It didn't exactly work out for them. But, of course, with the right wing, all they have to do is just continue to repeat lies and double down. And they're focusing on the message of drag queens are grooming the kids and they're grooming the children's and they're sexualizing the children's. And, again, no evidence of any of that. And, of course, since the shooting, these same figures have tried to find any excuse that absolves them and their rhetoric for any of the responsibility for the increase in violence against drag queens and other members of the LGBTQ community. Their newest one is the idea that Aldrich could not possibly ever be an actual right-winger because Aldrich identifies as non-binary. Here we go. According to a recent court filing, Aldrich's lawyers are now claiming that Aldrich identifies as non-binary. Now, for me, I think, so? Okay. And what does that matter when it comes to the alleged crime? Nonetheless, the right wing responded to this with just absolute unmitigated glee. Take a look. Here's Blair White. By the way, trans woman, but on the right wing. Wait a minute. I thought members of the LGBT community or LGBTQ community cannot be possibly members of the right wing. Oh, right. Ask Caitlyn Jenner, ask Blair White, ask Dave Rubin. So again, the idea that somebody who identifies as non-binary could also be a vicious right winger. Yeah, it's totally possible. But for this story, I actually cast doubt on this, and I'm going to provide some of the receipts. But then, before we get to that, we've got more right-wing reaction. As you can see, Matt Walsh. Sorry, but if you're on the left, then you have no right to deny the shooter's non-binary identity. You set a precedent here, and we will hold you to it. Oh, thanks for keeping us honest, Matt Walsh. You have to respect his identity. I don't. You do. These are your rules. Now take your medicine and shut up. Fun. All right, so there's more, of course, and you're going to love this. Mike Cernovich, when do Libs of TikTok, Matt Walsh, and Tucker Carlson get their apologies? When hell freezes over. Which, by the way, would never happen because hell doesn't exist. Okay, there's even more. Greg Price, this guy claims he's a misinformation reporter, spent the last 3 days claiming that people who want to stop the grooming and specialization. That's funny because, wait, specialization generally has to do with jobs. I'm assuming they meant sexualization, which again is not a real thing. It's not actually happening. Are they responsible for a mass shooting in Colorado that it turns out was committed by a non-binary they, them? Hey, you know what? At least Greg Price is using pronouns. Kurt Schlichter says, stop non-binary terrorism. So, well, look, as you can see, let me see if I have one more here. Yes, Matt Walsh retweet. So the Colorado shooter is a non-binary schizo who was arrested in connection with a bomb threat last year. By the way, the other claim from the right wing is like, why isn't the left reporting on the bomb threat. I did for certain, which every left outlet that has covered this story has mentioned that, has talked about that. And the fact that the red flag laws in Colorado were not followed at all. And there's no reason this person should have had weapons in the first place. But I digress. Again, if the facts there do not suit their narrative, they ignore them and they, chuck them away. They flush them down the toilet, whatever they want to do. They just ignore it. It's like it never happened, doesn't exist. Weird. But as you can see, their reaction, yes, the shooter was not binary. There you go. Yes, he wasn't one of us. He wasn't a right-winger. Wait a minute. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? So, look, there are things about this story, this defense, that don't make sense. But even if the lawyers were telling the truth, and that this person does identify as non-binary, and aren't just doing this to avoid hate crimes charges, okay, well, what does the shooter identifying as non-binary have to do? You're saying that a member of the LGBT community, whose grandfather happened to be a far-right MAGA politician, specifically targeted an LGBT bar, one of the two in the state, that hosted drag events at a time when there's a fever pitch among the right wing about drag queens supposedly grooming and sexualizing children. You're saying that's all just a coincidence? No, weird coincidence. What are you going to do? I'd be a rather large coincidence here. Rather large. Not saying it couldn't happen, but again, large coincidence. That said, I don't believe so, because according to people who knew Aldrich, they say that Aldrich regularly used anti-gay slurs on the regular basis. Interesting. So one of their friends, Xavier Krause, 23, said that he used to be friends with Aldrich and they lived in the same building near the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. Quote, there would be times where he and his mom would get into fights, arguments, because he would be saying hateful things about whoever he was angry with. He said sometimes that probably, he said things sometimes that probably should have been alarming to me. He used the term, and it's the F slur, a lot. Most of the time, it came from a place of anger. Yes, because, non-binary people generally, refer to other members of the LGBT community as hateful slurs. Because that definitely sounds like something that a non-binary person would do, right? No, of course not. But there's more. I want to show you some of the video here from that standoff. This is where Aldrich claimed to have had a homemade bomb, and you're going to see where they refer to themselves as, not non-binary.
It's your boy. I've got the heads outside. Look at that. They got a beat on me. You see that right there? Heads got their rifles out. If they breach, I'm gonna blow it to holy hell. It's your boy. I've got the...
That doesn't sound like someone who identifies as non-binary. It's your boy. Sure. Okay. Now, look, there's more. This person, again, had a pretty notable hatred of the LGBTQ community. You can see, of course, one of their social media posts burning a LGBT flag. Huh. Yeah. Weird. It just seems like this person might be very, very confused or something. Or maybe not non-binary at all. Just be making this up. And then finally, none of their families also made any mention of this, although that could be explained away by the fact that they're just virulent right-wingers and don't care at all about gender identity. But here's an excerpt of another news article about this. Is referring to the mother here. In February 2022, she wrote, "Hello, sisters. Can anyone please recommend?" By the way, this is on Church of Latter-day Saints, so Mormons, Facebook pages. "Hello, sisters. Can anyone please recommend a great trauma PTSD therapist?" And indicated it was for a 20-year-old, which Aldrich then was. He asked in May 2022, "Can anyone refer my son to a private boxing coach? He's 6'6" tall and hits like a freight train. Cannot find a good gym or anyone serious. He has made huge life changes and needs this." In 2021, she also wrote, "Does anyone have an extra heavy-duty fan they would like to donate to my son? He's in University Village Apartments, and it's 80 degrees in his apartment and no fan." And so he doesn't have any cash. So again, everyone seems to refer to Aldrich as he, even people at college. So either this person was very, very deeply into the closet, which is certainly possible, that they were forced into the closet as a result of being in this right-wing, bubble, this right-wing area, or happens to be making it up in order to get out of some of the hate crimes charges. Again, whichever, conclusion you want to come to, at this point, we don't know a definitive answer. One more thing. Police documents also referred to Aldrich as he, him, pronouns, at least up until very recently. Again, you could say, well, police do get it wrong. Police misgendered, of course, Keffels, who's or Claire Sorrenti, a transgender Twitch streamer. So certainly that is possible. Police don't care about, their particular pronouns. Or once again, you could come to the conclusion that this person's just making it up as a result of the lawyers advising them on this. I can't say definitively, but I am not buying this story. And again, the timing is very interesting. Also interesting is suddenly members of the far right are saying, "Oh, non-binary, completely valid." And, only because it's that person, and it proves that it's the lefts that are violent. So I don't see any progress. They're using this as a political narrative as usual. Doesn't matter, by the way. Obviously, even if Aldrich was, in this case, non-binary, it wouldn't change anything that they've done. And honestly, it doesn't mean that you can't suffer from self-hatred as a result of being in that gigantic right-wing bubble. And it also doesn't make the crime any less terrible. Doesn't excuse the hatred from the right wing, or the fact that red flag laws were clearly not followed. And even after they were documented with making threats before standoff with police, right? By the way, there's also one more thing. There was one time, according to his friend, where he made a shooting his gun reference to a woman he was upset with. And this is one of those instances where his mom was like, "Andy, oh my God, no, you can't say that." Yet Aldrich was more than able to keep an arsenal. They were allowed to. So there's a lot of different points of failure here that led to this, and the possibility of being non-binary is not one of them. What we see here from the right wing is a way to excuse themselves, usual, from any and all culpability for the kind of hatred that they put out in the world. And again, they loosen gun laws. They promote baseless groomer narratives, as you've seen, and constantly attack the LGBT community. So they also give rise to the hatred. And obviously, Aldrich had some sort of hatred towards that community, as well as an incredibly troubled past, including trying to distance themselves from a porn star, drug-addicted MMA fighter of a father, and an incredibly bizarre home life and turbulent. So, again, the more you drill into the details, I mean, the more messed up the entire situation gets to be. But nonetheless, the right wing cannot dispute the fact that there is a rhetoric here that is coming from their side that is promoting hatred and acts of violence towards the LGBTQ community. But nice try. Nice try, far right. Nice try. Moving on, let's go to Mike Pillow. Mike Pillow is desperate to get back on Twitter, and he's practically begging Elon Musk to give him some attention, some sweet, sweet attention, so that he can bug him about his favorite subject, which means it's time for another episode.
God gave me this platform. I already know I'm going to win.
China did our vote. Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence. This was attacked.
More than 2 years after former President Donald Trump lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is still out there spreading conspiracy theories and talking about robots and machines and all that. And with the recent reinstatement of Donald Trump, at least his Twitter account, as well as the other cavalcade of grifters and terrible people that are now back on the platform, Mike Pillow is hoping that he's allowed to come back, and had made an appeal after being asked about this on Steve Bannon's podcast.
Would you commit right now to do an open live Twitter with Elon Musk? He would play 20 Crusher, he'd rip your face off, you present your evidence, and he takes you on mano a mano and your evidence about what you believe is the voter fraud related to machines and other things in the 2020 election, sir?
Absolutely. I'd fly to him, do whatever it takes. I would hand deliver it on a silver platter and say, here you go. Look at it. You're a very smart man. Look at this and do whatever you want to do with my Twitter account. But for sure, I would like you to say, hey, this guy got banned, and he's banned right now for no reason then. I would do that any day, any time of day or night. And I'll drop everything I have to do that, Steve, because I believe it's very important to our country. And if you're going to have a platform of free speech now and about this cancel culture, you can't just say anybody that talked about machines can't be on it.
Get back on Twitter? Of course. I mean, if only I could talk about the very important things. So please, Elon Musk, I would drop everything. I would sacrifice my mother, my grandmother. I would get down on my knees right now for you, Elon Musk. Just please, let me talk about the election with you just for a minute, please.
Beta male.
My God, people are sad. Look, why would Elon Musk tolerate that kind of madness or even entertain it? Look, Elon Musk, he's a dumbass. He's not a smart person. He's a right-wing idiot. But even I think he does not buy into the election denial stuff. That said, there are chuds out there that are begging him, Musk, on Twitter to first remove disclaimers under Donald Trump's tweets about the election, and then to reinstate the others who have spread debunked conspiracy theories. And look, of course, the main reason that Twitter had originally removed those accounts and put up those disclaimers in the first place was because of January 6th. After Donald Trump used the platform to incite members and to give them orders, where they would intimidate members of Congress and the former vice president into not accepting a peaceful transfer of power. That's why. Look, Democracy falls apart when one side does not respect the results of an election and refuses to peacefully transfer power to the legitimate winners of those elections based on fabricated evidence of voter fraud. But as I pointed out in a previous story, the far right does not believe in democracy, does not believe in our system of government. Numerous right-wing supposed intellectuals think that we need to be living in a religious dictatorship with no more elections. So, Peter Thiel wants us to live in a monarchy run by right-wing billionaires. That's what they want. One-party rule, conservatives in charge forever, people forced into religious doctrines to live by religious rules through their, taught to them through their patriotic types of education systems, the kind that Ron DeSantis has instituted in Florida. Not imagining things. This is what they want to do. They want fascism. And part of that includes wiping LGBTQ people off the face of the earth. Make no mistake, if you're gay or trans, bisexual, non-binary, doesn't matter. If you're anything other than heterosexual white male, conservative, they either want you dead or subjugated. And I wish I didn't have to go to that extreme, because it sounds extreme. It sounds extreme. But I'm not kidding about it. That's how bad it has gotten in this country. And I wish it wasn't so. Women and black people, of course, for them, would be second and third class citizens, respectively. It's the kind of future that they're looking forward to. It's the kind of thing that they're fighting for. Now, of course, I don't believe all Republicans want that. No. I don't think all conservatives want that. I think it's a very vocal minority of Republicans in this country. And they're open about it, though. They're very, very open about it. These are the people that don't care about freedom. They don't care about free speech. They don't care about, anything like that. They don't care about reality. They care about being able to spread their lies unchecked. Even a fact check upsets them because they cannot handle the real marketplace of ideas because they don't have the facts on their side. And by the way, they'll be the first ones to clamp down on actual freedom, especially things like free speech, if it doesn't conform to them. It's who they are. All right, anyway. That went dark. Well, let's brighten it up a little bit. Go from dangerous to stupid.
Well, first of all, this election is more than Herschel Walker. This election is about the people.
Yeah, you heard that right. This election is about the people. That was Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker having a pretty unfortunate slip of the tongue, which I just had myself there calling him a senator. Oof. Oh, God, no. Now, that led, of course, to some hilarious mockery online. In fact, it sent the hashtag Erection rising to the top of the Twitter trends. Here's some reactions to it. Brian Tyler Cohen says, the Erection denier himself. Oh, there's plenty more of that.
Tallywhacker.
All right. Kansas, the GOP Slayer, says Herschel Walker's going to have a really hard time winning this election.
Tallywhacker.
Fresh Slice of Hell says the reason Herschel Walker has not one but two handlers with him at his interviews is to prevent him from saying dumb shit like this. Like, the erection is about the people, and he just goes and does it anyway. D says that erection is between two useless balls. Yeah.
Testicles.
Dr. Lee Jones says the record of abortion receipts and previously unacknowledged children makes it clear Herschel Walker has never lost an erection.
I like my meat tight. Tighten up my meat.
Okay. Now look, obviously this is funny. Everybody loves a good gaffe. I wish this is what politics was about. Just making fun of people for ridiculous gaffes. Great. And look, to be fair, public speaking is hard. Unintended. I know because I do it every day. Sometimes gaffes like this, if we've seen historically, can shaft your candidacy. That said, only if your campaign is already flaccid. I don't think this will shrink his chances during the upcoming runoff, where everyone's expectations will be hard to live up to. Both candidates will definitely have to come prepared for the brutal runoff, where they expected to, edge each other out in order to get past the finish line. And we'll see who can pull out a win at the end of the day. Judging by, of course, Walker's so far inability to pull out well about anything, I'm hoping Warnock retains his Senate seat. I do not apologize for these puns. I will never apologize. Okay?
I apologize for nothing. I concede nothing.
Nothing.
Sexual anarchy.
Okay.
This election is about the people.
It's about the people. It's about the people, okay?
Go for it, bitch. Come at me.
All right. Anyway, one more.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Long tube. Lots of demons. Okay. Anyway. Let's move on. Let's move on. Speaking of, by the way, election and, being creepily sexual, this next story, I think you're going to enjoy it. Uh-oh. Sad. For the last couple of years, conservatives have been trying to prove their election fraud conspiracies, drawing on their numerous so-called experts, who are basically randos who don't understand how elections actually work, how counting actually works. Well, they claim to have evidence of fraud being carried out. We've got it on tape. We've got it on video. Now, one of their newest experts claimed to have video of this happening, and he would know video because, apparently he had once pled guilty to voyeurism. The details, of course, are even worse when you look into it. Now, the man is named Kevin Munkla, and he had pled guilty after secretly filming people in his bathroom. Setting up a whole system, hidden camera, and everything, recording device. And so now Munkla is also head of the so-called election oversight group and is claiming that he had received some damning video posted on the right-wing site Rumble from a poll worker that shows unusual jumps in checked-in voters on the screen of an electronic poll book after the polls had closed. Oh, interesting. So now, this video again, like, oh, well, look, there's this count, right? And this e-book, this e-poll book, oh, look at the vote counts, oh, it's after. So no, wait, he set up a hidden camera to catch that as well. The guy knows how to do hidden cameras. What if he's watching me right now? Okay. Anyway, now the state certified election systems and software ESS voting systems e-poll books in Dallas County, Texas, had previously experienced some delay in the downloading of checked-in voters and then caught up. This is according to the Texas Secretary of State. So you get the Texas Secretary of State saying, well, obviously there was an election fraud. There wasn't a problem with these books. The vote count was legitimate. It just had to take some time to catch up in the e-poll book. In fact, an ES and S spokesperson told Lead Stories, the updating of poll book numbers, even after polls closed, is normal behavior for an electronic poll book. going back to the fact that none of these chuds seem to understand how vote counting works and how machines work. All right. Furthermore, the Dallas County Elections website reported that once the polls closed at 7 p.m. on Election Day, the upload traffic on the network had decreased, and as a result, the downloads appeared to have sped up significantly, which happens when, of course, you have a system where the infrastructure is fairly old, which is true for the election infrastructure in the entire country. Okay. And not only that, but again, it makes sense if you're using up all this bandwidth. I know this is a difficult concept for these people, but bandwidth, you only have so much. And when you're using a lot of it, things will slow down. And then when you stop using it, things will speed back up. Weird. No, but that's how it works. Furthermore, the website said Dallas County's e-poll books functioned accurately but slowly and correctly recorded the number of voters who were issued ballots on Election Day. So again, that's the claim made by Moncla and, of course, republished by right-wing conspiracy blogs like, I don't know, Gateway Pundit. Which, again, Gateway Pundit, I just have to note that the founder of Gateway Pundit, I think, had gotten in trouble for shitting on his college dorm room floor. So, quality people, right? So you got that conspiracy blog by the floor shitter. And then you also have Weirdo Peeping Tom, that is claiming to have evidence of election fraud. These are real quality stand-up people. Experts. But once again, it comes down to people not understanding how anything works. Technology that counts ballots, they don't understand it, and since they don't understand it, it must be a conspiracy. Oh, they must be rigged against us. Now, both the Gateway Pundit and the article and the description under the original post of the video on Rumble link to a fundraiser for, a big surprise, the Election Oversight Group, which is led by Moncla. Moncla, a self-described investigative journalist and independent researcher, which basically means I watch shitty YouTube videos. That's my research. Yeah, okay. Is listed as the manager of the EOG fundraiser on Give, Send, Go, a Christian fundraising platform, become a haven for far-right causes. He's appeared on podcasts representing EOG and regularly posts links to their website on Twitter. His name appears at the bottom of their Substack. The EOG fundraiser is seeking $125,000 to support their investigative work. Speaking of this guy's investigative work, getting back to, his first major case of cracking the case, I should say. The Daily Dot found evidence that Kevin Michael Moncla pled guilty to a misdemeanor voyeurism charge back in 2004. He was ordered to pay $3.25 million in damages by the court. As reported by The Ledger back in 2006, court records say Moncla secretly videotaped house guests, as well as his then-wife's activities in the bathroom through ceiling vents at his home in Destin, Florida. But it gets worse. From September to November 2002, a couple and their two young children were videotaped while they were guests in Monkla's home, court records say. Although police say that there were no crimes committed against the children. Really? You got minors on video in the bathroom. What was he doing to those tapes? I'm asking questions. I don't think that's just voyeurism. Now, a sheriff's office investigator testified in a deposition that the recording setup, by the way, in Monkla's home was more sophisticated than throwing a camera up somewhere and leaving it out. Obviously. The guy had to, put a lot of thought into that. Oh, we're going to hide it in the vents. I'm going to do some recording in the bathroom. In the bathroom? Really? The scheme unraveled, however, when Monkla's then-wife, at the time, discovered a video cassette recorder and tapes under a bed. Well done. That is super, super fucked up. Now, of course, in his defense, he says, oh, well, you know, I wasn't trying to snoop on children or to be a creeper on my, you know, then wife or ex-wife or the guest. No, it's not what you think. In a tweeted statement after the publication of the story several days ago, Moncla denied filming anyone, claiming instead that he had recorded his wife's calls during a custody battle and took a plea deal to avoid a felony. Of course. That's really not better. That excuse right there. Instead of like, you know, I videotaped children and my ex-wife. Instead, he's saying, oh, no, I didn't do that. Oh, that would be bad. All I did was just spy on my ex-wife's phone calls. Wait, that's not better. At least not that much better. You were spying in on people, stuck hidden cameras in your bathroom with, you know, in a home that's not only with your wife, but with your guests, 2 small children. No, creepy. But now he's out there saying, instead of being a predator, he's saying, no, I'm a hero. I'm fighting for election integrity. And I'm using my obviously, you know, excellent spying in on people's skills to try to, catch election fraud? Which, again, he didn't even catch actual election fraud. It's ridiculous. While Moncla had submitted several formal complaints in Georgia alleging systemic issues with voting machines, he's been vague about the details regarding Dallas County, which happens to be a Democratic stronghold in Texas, aside from claims of inflated vote counts. Legal reasons, he said. You don't put your evidence out before you file a case. And then, of course, if you never file the case, you never have to put your evidence out. Genius. Brilliant. Totally brilliant. Oh, God.
And then they say, is Donald Trump an intellectual? Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Except that, you know, he's like, I am also a smart person. No, you're not. He also said this. I've got the complete line of evidence from both Dallas, Texas, and multiple counties in Georgia. I'm not guessing. It's a fact. Okay, but then you're not releasing the evidence, are you? No, of course not. Of course not. Look, this is the kind of guy that the right turns to for their evidence. I mean, look, I feel pretty good about the results of the election if this is who they turn to uncover the so-called fraud. Bunch of, again, randos with legal issues and histories of doing creepy, unethical things. And look, not only that, but of course you have investigation after investigation. Alleged voter fraud fact check after fact check, which has proven people like Moncla wrong every single time they bring up this ridiculous talking point of election fraud. So, every single time, doesn't matter, because as Mike Pillow had said before, don't worry about the evidence, because we never have them. We don't actually have it. We never have any evidence. None that actually proves what we're trying to say. Gotcha. Okay. Let me actually switch over here to the other story first before I get to a police story. Again, police being creepy. Let's go to Trump. Obligatory Trump story. Go. All right. Former President Donald Trump is on the warpath against a family of the special counsel tasked to investigate government documents that were recovered from Mar-a-Lago, as well as allegations of attempted insurrection and obstruction of justice. So these are very serious charges, of course. Now, that said, Trump responded to this by, well, doing the very classic thing of actually attacking a family member. Yes. He posted this to
Truth essential.
This is just a small amount of information from the wife of the hardline radical left special counsel prosecutor, an acolyte of Eric Holder and Barack Hussein Obama. Trump posted on his Truth Social. So let me just say, told you. I said Merrick Garland appointing this special counsel would not appease Donald Trump or any Republicans, and I was correct. Because of course. And by the way, I also, and I haven't been proven right on this, but I think ultimately this will end up being the Mueller investigation 2.0. It'll take forever, and then at the end of the day, Merrick Garland won't do anything. Now, that said, speaking of the Mueller investigation, remember how viciously Republicans went after Robert Mueller? Who was also, by the way, a Republican? Not that mattered. Nah, I remember. I'm sure you all remember. And God, gee, look at that. Nothing happened. Interesting. After the report was released. Nonetheless, you had the same rhetoric. Left wing, the radical, Obama. Of course, Donald Trump did not supply any evidence in that case, or in the case of Jack Smith, that he is a radical leftist special counsel. However, he did have some, in his mind, damning evidence. Smith is married to documentary filmmaker Katie Savigny. Sorry, I'm butchering that name. Katie Savigny was a producer on the Emmy-nominated 2020 documentary Becoming, which was on former First Lady Michelle Obama. Got him. I got him. Obama. We got him. Wait, okay, hold on. So she worked on a documentary, and that's your smoking gun. That's your proof that Jack Smith, the husband, is going to be 100% biased in favor of Biden and taking down Donald Trump. Okay. Oh, but there's more. Trump also posted a screen grab from a Census Leader Twitter account with the same name as the prosecutor's wife, saying, "Thank goodness," in response to Donald Trump losing the 2020 election to Biden. Got him. Oh, we got him. We got him. Trump also posted a screen grab showing a Facebook user with the same name liking a 2016 post supporting Hillary Clinton. That's it. That's it. 100%. Got to get rid of him. What? No, congratulations, Donald Trump. You found that his wife has political opinion. Wow. Wow. Deep sleuthing right there. Very, very deep. Tremendously deep. The deepest anybody has ever gone to investigation, looking at social media posts. I don't even know if those are real, but even if they are, I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you have political opinions. Wow. Shocker. That said, okay, he's not the only one complaining about this. Eric Trump. Eric Trump also followed his dad and taken to social media to complain about Savigny. The wife of Special Counsel Biden chose to investigate Donald Trump, his likely opponent in 2024, reportedly produced the Michelle Obama documentary. Yes, America, you are reading this correctly. Well, actually, no, there's something in there you posted wasn't correct at all. First off, it wasn't President Biden that handpicked Jack Smith. No, it was Merrick Garland, head of the DOJ. Okay. So just that minor little, misreporting aside, I'm very, very sure that Eric Trump's very interested in getting all the facts correct. The thing is, I wonder who, Trump would want to have them pick as a special counsel. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't be satisfied with anyone except someone like Rudy Giuliani or something. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, there's more. Representative Andrew Clyde, from Republican from Georgia, said, "You just can't make this stuff up. America cannot stand with a corrupt two-tier justice system." You know what Representative Andrew Clyde is famous for saying? He likened the people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th to tourists. Oh, these Capitol rioters, they're not rioters, they're tourists. They're tourists. But the fact that Republicans who were in Congress were actually really, really scared. I mean, you got Josh Hawley, famous video of him hauling ass out of the Senate, away from the Capitol rioters. So come on, really? Really? All right, more. Former Trump spokesperson Taylor Budowich added on Twitter, "No wonder Jack Smith accepted the special assignment. The swamp is hard at work." You would think that the stated purpose to avoid any type of concern about bias were sincere, then they would have, and this is Matt Gaetz, by the way, would have at least checked to see whether or not, when you shake the family tree of the special counsel, any virulent Trump haters, never Trumpers, Biden supporters fall out. That was Gaetz in an interview with Steve Bannon. So the reason I bring this up, which is really funny, is to point out their obvious hypocrisy. Suddenly, MAGA world is very concerned about the spouses of people in power in important positions having political opinions that might be contrary to the people in power. Oh, interesting. Or that they're investigating. So wait, if the special counsel, which is what they're saying, has a conflict of interest, well, then I'm sure you would have to agree, Matt Gaetz, Andrew Clyde, Donald Trump, Eric Trump, that maybe Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas might also have a little bit of a conflict of interest, in anything involving January 6th, and should have to recuse himself. Not resign outright, although some are asking for it, but just to recuse at least himself from any case involving January 6th. And why would that be? That's because Virginia Thomas, also known as Ginny Thomas, his wife, is an election denier who had begged Wisconsin and Arizona lawmakers to overturn the results of the 2020 elections in favor of Donald Trump, and also had begged Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to not concede the election in text messages. Text messages that were released, that were ordered to be released. And you know who tried to stop those messages? Clarence Thomas. The lone vote against releasing those text messages. Oh, but Clarence Thomas, how dare you impugn the integrity of the Honorable Justice Clarence Thomas and claim that he has some sort of bias involving his wife, which, by the way, obviously Jack Smith has to have a gigantic bias because his wife liked the Hillary Clinton and worked on a documentary about Obama. Come on. Really? Really? Look, Thomas obviously showed the nation that he is deeply biased in favor of his wife and shouldn't be trusted to rule fairly and impartially on anything involving January 6th, because that is a conflict of interest. Now, that said, for Jack Smith, there's nothing in his own personal record that I've found so far that shows any bias towards one side or the other. Well, maybe except for one thing, and might show a bias towards powerful, wealthy people. In fact, I'm actually really concerned about Smith not prosecuting Trump over corruption, and here's why. Now, first, this is going back to the case of Tom DeLay. So Tom DeLay, an incredibly corrupt politician who was alleged to, do a lot of different things, including money laundering. Now, a Republican source familiar with Smith's oversight of the investigation into former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay commended Smith's non-biased approach, saying that he ultimately made a just decision to conclude the investigation without alleging DeLay committed any crime. Okay. Now, according to a Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington investigation into how they handled that case, they actually found the DOJ was far too cowardly to prosecute a case against DeLay for the alleged money laundering. Documents the FBI produced to Crew revealed that after a 4-year investigation, DOJ quietly closed its case against one of the most powerful men in Congress, letting him off the hook for his years of shady deals and actions on behalf of Jack Abramoff and his many clients. So, that concerns me. Weak investigation, weak prosecution of obvious corruption when it comes to a very powerful figure. An incredibly powerful figure? Well, the President of the United States, even a former President of the United States, is a very powerful person. Doesn't matter which party. Again, you have former presidents of either party who are incredibly powerful. Why Obama wouldn't go after Bush for war crimes? Why Biden, so far himself, or at least the Department of Justice, hasn't went super hard after Trump? Even though now you have this special counsel, which is very, very late in the game after what we found out about Donald Trump and about, of course, the attempt to overthrow the election. I still think they're handling him with kids' gloves. That said, when it comes to Republicans, got to treat them with kids' gloves. And if you dare come after Trump, well, then obviously, according to these other Republicans, you're biased. Obama and corrupt. Okay, sure. This is what they think. It's obvious hypocrisy. All right, one more story here. Squeezing the last one in here. All right. A police officer who had resigned his post over sexual harassment allegations actually ended up getting a new job investigating sexual assault allegations. I'm not kidding. Now, this is according to a report by WBUR. A University of Massachusetts Dartmouth police officer had resigned over an investigation into sexual harassment allegations against him in 2010, but was then later rehired as a school resource officer at the Blackstone Millville Regional School District in the nearby town of Blackstone, where he was tasked with investigating reported sexual assault. Wow. So, what were the allegations? Get into details here. Officer David Loudon had given a 20-year-old college student a ride back to her dome in his police cruiser, then proceeded to give her a hug, and then went a little further and groped her breast. He then subsequently harassed her repeatedly with unwanted texts and phone calls, according to a campus police report. Disgusting. But as usual, it gets worse. Not with this specific officer, but with the fact that you have these officers that get busted on the job doing heinous things, illegal things, and then getting hired somewhere else. In fact, the report found more than a dozen current Massachusetts officers who were previously fired or resigned from another department after a misconduct investigation, which include a police officer in Irving who was fired from the Massachusetts State Police after he was caught repeatedly driving drunk, a Rehoboth officer who left the Seekonk Force, after he was accused of domestic violence, and a Berlin police officer who lost his job in nearby Shrewsbury after allegedly posting vulgar messages on Facebook under someone else's name. So, again, police officers, they get busted doing things that normally would get you in trouble or arrested even, and then pop up somewhere else to do the same job. Wow. Look, obviously that's a big problem. The whole point of firing them isn't just like punishment. No, it's to protect the citizens that officer is supposed to be protecting. But then again, who is supposed to protect you from the protectors when the protectors are corrupt? When they're the ones that you need to be protected from? So, experts say, of course, that police officers can easily find new jobs because there is no national system for licensing or registering officers, making it very easy for police officers who are barred from working in one state to find work in another. Now, the remedy here is quite obvious. You need to fix that. Now, of course, the minute you suggest a national police registry, so you can just make sure that you don't hire someone who had gotten fired, for sex crimes or allegations of sexual assault, that you would hire them to investigate sex crimes in your own district. Oh, yeah, by the way, I can imagine that, interview, right? Oh, so you say you want to work in the sexual assault division, right? Or the crimes division. What experience do you have? Oh, trust me, I have a lot of experience on sexual assault, and I got lots of experience there. Yeah, firsthand experience. That is so incredibly messed up. But again, the moment that you suggest that we should have some sort of way to prevent this from happening, you get pushback from police unions, which is one of the only unions, by the way, in the country that I am not in favor of. Then you, of course, have thin blue line bootlickers, and of course, anti-cancel culture warriors who will come out in a blind rage. How dare you cancel this police officer for something he did in the past? Well, because putting people back into a position of power that they have shown themselves to, be willing to abuse in order to get something that they want, including sexual favors or, just be able to skirt laws that they themselves would arrest someone else for. Yeah, it's exactly the kind of government overreach none of us should be in favor of, apparently. No, look, if you want better police, then maybe we ought to adopt some standards. Very simple standards. And I understand that maybe a decent chunk of the police force would not meet those standards, would not be police officers these days. So look, I know it's tough for some people who've never been victimized to empathize with other people. But trust me, you wouldn't want people like this in positions of authority because who knows, maybe someday they'll come after you. And it sucks to have to sit there and make that kind of cynical argument for people who don't understand that there are some various big problems with policing in this country, and that a lot of it, well, maybe not a lot of it, but some of it might be solved by actually hiring better police and having some goddamn standards, and the rules in place. Things like qualified immunity, ending that. Empathy is a hard thing, apparently, to teach. Maybe it's an impossible thing to teach. And in that case, that makes it more necessary for there to be strict rules and regulation in place to ensure that you at least hire officers that don't already have some sort of criminal or disciplinary record of, sexual assault, harassment, police brutality, excessive force, drinking on the job. All of that stuff, you wouldn't be able to get a normal job if you do this stuff. Why the hell should you be allowed to be a police officer? Insanity. Insanity. The fix is simple. National Police Registry right now. Get on it. All right. Well then, that's quite a show. All right. So look, we're gonna be heading out here in a minute. I'm gonna read a super chat here. It's one from Gabby Mathis. It's on YouTube. For anybody celebrating Thanksgiving, have a great one. For those of us who don't, meet you again on Monday. So yes, I know I have a lot of overseas viewers. So gotta let you guys know that we're not gonna be back until Monday. So it's Thursday, Friday. We're taking off, so extended weekend. But again, we'll be back on Monday. So having a great long extended weekend for everyone else who does celebrate, this time, family. Hopefully you all have a good time and don't, have to sit there and argue with your right-wing uncle or any other right-wing family member. All right. So, let's see. Let's go to Twitch here, see if there are any new comments or anything, or any subs or bits. Subs or bits in a while. Nope, doesn't look like there's anything there. Again, thank you to the Facebook audience. I appreciate you all as well sticking around. All right. So, everybody, have a great, and happy long weekend, and enjoy yourselves. A detox from the news, which is definitely my plan. And we'll be back here on Monday with the usual mix of disaster and fun. Love you all. And we'll see you back here on Monday. And remember, change begins with you.
This direction is about the people.
Oh my God!
The minute! Sexual anarchy.
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight.
Wet ass keyword.
Sexual anarchy.
They're kicking me out the door. They're kicking me out the door.